Hi and welcome to Rethink Dialogue. Today we're going to talk to Callan Green. She's the Senior Social Media Specialist at Sony Electronics and she's handling the Pinterest account for Sony Electronics. Let's go and talk to her. Hi Callan.
Hi.
Welcome to Rethink Dialogue and to Norway.
Thank you.
This is your first time, right?
It is, first time.
So what's your first thoughts about the country?
I think it is beautiful and also chilly.
Chilly compared to
San Diego, yes. Quite a bit.
I can imagine. So tell me your position at Sony. You're working at Sony.
Yes, I'm at Sony Electronics and I'm a senior social media specialist there. And I focus on our brand campaigns, so our larger marketing campaigns, the social components that go with that, whether it be a commercial or just a campaign that rolls out across all assets, and then also our influencer relations and some work on our emerging platforms, so Pinterest and Instagram and Social Cam.
Right. Influencer. So tell me a little bit about what an influencer campaign is.
Sure. We do a variety of different things. We do scalable programs and working with partners like Clout and Influencer. That it's a very easy process for us where they help us identify the influencers and we're able to seed a large amount of product, and that's really about buzz and awareness. And then we do more tailored one-off programs where we handpick influencers to offer them for a certain experience with the brand. And then we also do some employee influencers, and we have an entire employee social media program so that we can encourage our employees to be active.
Ooh, cool, interesting. And what's your background? How do you get there?
Yeah, I've been at Sony for 2 years. Before that, I was at a smaller agency in San Diego and worked with quite a few lifestyle brands there, doing social media strategy. Started in PR, and then as social kind of became a thing, it was something I was really drawn to. And I thought it was quite interesting, the idea of using these platforms that I loved as a person to integrate marketing into. So started there and was fortunate enough to join Sony 2 years ago.
So you're using actively social tools as well?
Yes.
In your everyday personal
very
life?
actively.
Yeah. I've seen you on Instagram.
Yeah.
So at Sony, how did the process of acceptance and using social media, how did that go?
Yeah, well, I was very fortunate that the team prior to me did a lot of the legwork on selling social media in. So by the time I got there 2 years ago, they were definitely on board. Everyone thought it's great. You know, it's a part of every plan that we create. So I didn't have to sell it in at any point. But I know that it was definitely, many years ago when they first started, it was a new frontier. Like any corporation, they had to work with every single person to explain what it was, why we were investing in this, why this should exist for Sony. And I have nothing but respect for my teammates who made that happen.
Yeah, I can imagine. But which channels are you operating and which ones are the most successful ones?
Yeah, it's hard to say because we use each channel for very different things. We have different audiences that we're speaking to and different strategies and goals with each channel. We're on, very many channels. We, of course, have active presence on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Social Cam, Instagram, Pinterest, Flickr. I'm sure there's a few others, but those are the main ones. We have a blog, but they're definitely all. They all have successful. What's the word? They help us in different ways. So, for Facebook, it's really our loyal fans and our fanboys and techie people. And so we love talking to them because that's the core of our business. Those are the people that when something new comes out, they're really excited about it. And they're the ones that are going to rush out and buy it. And then we use a channel like Pinterest for more expanding that audience to a more lifestyle, female, people who buy our products but aren't necessarily sitting by the computer waiting to find out what Sony's releasing next. So definitely different goals.
And what about Google+?
We are on Google+. I left that out. Yes, we are there.
Yeah? And
I haven't personally done much of the strategy. We've done quite a bit of Google Hangouts, and I know that that's been a really successful strategy for us. We've worked with some Google execs to host them, and so it's been, a lot of our Android fanboys have been excited about it and have participated, so that has been a winning strategy for us. But other than that, I personally haven't managed much of the strategy for that channel, so I can't speak to it.
No, I must admit, I see all the potential and all the possibilities, but it's like another social network that I have to invest in.
Yes, it's a challenge.
So it's it requires a lot.
Yes.
But when it comes to, for example, at Sony with senior management, are they like really into social as well? Are they active themselves, or are they just like, oh, let the department run that thing?
Yeah, we are extremely fortunate with our senior management. They're very into social media, and they have a good understanding of what we're doing as well. And they are involved themselves. Our COO, the president of Sony Electronics, Phil Molyneux, recently got on Twitter. And I've worked with many executives in my tenure in social, and I have to tell you, he's the first one to have gotten it so quickly. He has a voice, he's funny, gets that he needs to talk about Sony but not talk about it too much. I couldn't be more impressed with someone on social, because I know it's a weird thing for someone who's an executive who's not necessarily used to putting yourself out there. So to me, it just really reiterates how much they understand what we're doing, and they get the premise, and it's exciting. They're very good at letting us break the mold and try new things and go around the process. So I feel very fortunate. So
you have like the freedom to be bold.
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
And our social media lead on our team is also just excellent at that, of being like, okay, team, I will have your back. We will go wherever and try new things. So very lucky team to work with.
Wow. Sounds great. So you're going to be at the conference talking about Pinterest. So what is Pinterest, and how can a company actually use it in a smart way?
I always tell everyone Pinterest isn't necessarily for everyone. That being said, you can definitely get creative with it. It's an online mood board, supposedly that's what they call it, where you can organize pretty pictures. But how brands can use it is I think the best way to understand it is how the consumer uses it. And a consumer creates boards based around things they want to buy, things that inspire them, things they think are funny, recipes they want to make. It's very aspirational, and but can also be functional, because sometimes, like for instance, as I prepared for my trip to Norway, I used Pinterest to look for puffy jackets. So and there's a sort of understanding that if it's on Pinterest, it's been curated, so it's therefore recommended by the Pinterest community, and there's some trust that's built in with the Pinterest community of, if it's on here, it's good. So it helps you with the World Wide Web of search. So I think that those are the benefits, and that is why as a brand we got involved, because our team was noticing how pinning things was affecting our own buying behavior. And we thought, well, gosh, if this is making me go to a store and purchase something that I didn't know existed prior to this, that's really powerful. And as a brand, there has to be some opportunities here. So that's kind of where we started. And as a brand, you have lots of options. If you're an e-commerce brand, that makes it a lot easier, because you can link, we have our Sony store online, and we can link to that and people can purchase right through. So it's a very natural space for us to be in, especially because people are already pinning our products as, the TV I want for my dream home, and the camera I've been lusting over. So it makes it really easy for us to then, integrate ourselves into those conversations.
So when Sony Electronics the product range is everything from TV to kitchen appliances and everything, or?
No, we don't have kitchen appliances to my knowledge.
I'm just asking.
We have laptops, cameras, baby monitors, TVs, all HAV, audio, and there's a lot. So it's nice for us because we have so many assets to work with and so many categories we can integrate ourselves with. And, we also work closely with Sony Music and Sony Pictures and Sony Mobile. So we do have boards that speak to those as well. And so we can kind of be part of those conversations as well.
So there's integration between the...
Definitely,
that's really good. That's helpful.
Yeah.
So in your words, what's your best experience in social media? What have you personally achieved, or anything you want to share with us?
Yeah, I think in general, this Pinterest journey has been really exciting. We were fortunate enough to get on it right before everyone else did, which gave us kind of that push to grow. And I had never been part of that before. I loved working with smaller brands and growing their pages prior to this, and that was very fun for me. But when I got to Sony, all of our platforms were established. So personally, I really enjoyed starting from the bottom with Pinterest and seeing what worked and having a completely blank slate to start from. And I think that's what's cool about any emerging platform is you can be the first brand to do something. And that means you get to be creative and think differently. And, at this point with Facebook, as much as I enjoy it, what are you going to do that someone hasn't already done? So it's very exciting because we've tested some programs that, we just came up with out of thin air. And, it's hard because you don't know. It could totally flop. And fortunately it hasn't. But we've had a lot of fun with it.
Cool.
Yeah.
But again, back to the company and the department. So how many people are handling everything?
Yeah, there are 6 of us.
6?
Yeah, so it's a fairly good-sized department, and we divide our roles. We have one community manager, and then multiple. We have one lead, one community manager, 3 strategists, and someone who focuses on social commerce.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you work with any collaborative agencies or anything, or are you handling everything yourself?
Yeah, we work more or less. We work with collaborative agencies. Definitely, we work closely with our marketing agencies to develop social programs that go with their marketing programs. But
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And so, Rethink is about social business marketing. Mm-hmm. And do you consider Sony to be a social business?
I do. I think we everything from our products that have integrated social into them, where Wi-Fi, where you can share right to Facebook from your camera, to the employee program that's encouraging and incentivizing our employees to share via social. And then, definitely we take listening on social very seriously, and we have an entire post-purchase social media team as well that isn't part of our 6. They're a whole separate team that manages the customer service aspect and making sure that people are happy and know how to work their Sony products. So
okay.
I would consider us a social business.
Yeah, cool. And I know that a lot of people in Norway is going to ask this question, or actually it's always there. Budgets. So Sony, they have this huge budget. So do you ever get questions like, okay, let's use social because that's free compared to other types of marketing?
Yeah, there's definitely still sometimes that impression that social could be free. I think that there's been a bunch of education about that in the past few years, and people are starting to grasp it more. I will say we know our budgets are less than some other larger brands or other competitors. So we're really big on getting crafty with how we can use the budget we have. So I'm no stranger to especially having worked with so many small brands, I am no stranger to the challenge of budget restraints. And I think that it's all about how you get creative to make it work.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's all about how you get creative. I like that. So do you have any principles that you would like to share that would be effective for any kind of small business? Because I must admit that most of businesses in Norway are small business compared to US. So any principles that you use as an approach when you handle social? Yeah,
definitely. I think for small businesses, one of the things I've seen that is the most challenging is when you try and be on every platform at once. And we have a team of 6 to manage all these platforms. If you have one person and their whole job isn't even social media, you have to be realistic about what you're going to be able to accomplish. And so to me, my biggest piece of advice to them is always figure out what is the right one for you. It doesn't have to be Facebook. Maybe it is Pinterest. Or maybe Pinterest isn't. Just because Pinterest is new and hot doesn't mean it is the right one to invest all yours in.
Yeah.
But pick 1 or 2 if you're really ambitious and really work on it, because you're going to have so many challenges in growing the audience, creating the content. I mean, you have so many steps that need to happen before this starts returning on your investment. And if you're trying to do that across so many platforms at once, it's going to be a lot of work for you.
Yeah.
And you may never get to that point where you're actually profiting off of it.
Exactly.
So that's always my recommendation, is pick something, do it really well, and if you feel like, okay, great, this is helping me make money, then open yourself up to more.
Okay, cool, good advice.
Thanks.
I like that. So on a personal aspect, what inspires you? Where do you seek inspiration?
For me, it's doing something different and doing something new. And like I said, I feel so grateful to work for the team that I work for, to let us be so wide and test things and have the ability to, if need be, have something not succeed. That's what really inspires me. The idea of okay, we're testing this, we're seeing if this works, and it's very exciting, and it's where I do the best. So
cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.